Hi there, and welcome to this video tutorial on how to begin using SketchUp. Double-click on the desktop icon to launch the program. This doesn't bring you straight into SketchUp, instead it launches a Welcome to SketchUp screen. There are two buttons on this welcome page that need your attention. They are the Choose Template button and the Start Using SketchUp button. Let's take a look at the Choose Template area first. Click on this and you will be shown a number of templates. Scroll through the different choices to see what's available. There are options for different disciplines: architecture, planning, construction, 3D printing, among others. You can also choose what unit of measurement you want to work in. For example, meters, inches, millimeters. Each template has a short description included in the list, so make sure you familiarize yourself with what is available. For this tutorial, we are going to use the Architectural Design in Millimeters template. Click once to select, then click the Start Using SketchUp button. The drawing program is then launched. Let's have a quick look at the program interface. At the very top of the screen is the menu bar. As with many other computer programs, click on any of the buttons on this menu bar to see a drop-down menu. Underneath this is the Get Started toolbar. SketchUp have grouped together some tools that you need to begin or explore a drawing. Hover your mouse over any of these tools for 3 seconds to see a tooltip which shows the name of the tool and a short description of its function. However, we'll need to add 2 more toolbars which are essential when drawing and navigating around SketchUp. To add these toolbars, go to the View option on the menu, choose Toolbars. This will open the Toolbars dialog box. Notice how there is a tick in the box to the left of the Getting Started toolbar. This means that this toolbar is active on screen. Place a tick beside the large tool set and the Views toolbars. See them appear around the screen. All of the tools in the Getting Started toolbar are duplicated on the large tool set. So you can uncheck the Getting Started toolbar to remove it from around the drawing area. Click Close to accept these changes and to close the dialog box. We can move the position of any of these toolbars. Click and hold on the grey line either above the toolbar or to the left of the toolbar to move these toolbars. We'll talk a little bit more about the tools shown on these toolbars later in the tutorial. On the right-hand side of the screen we have the default tray. Here we find many of the tools that we use to embellish our drawing, such as the Materials browser, the Styles menu, or the Shadow palette. For now, however, close this tray to remove it from the screen. Now let's move on to look at the drawing area. There are 3 things to notice about this area: the drawing axes, the person, and the horizon. Let's look at the drawing axes. There are 3 axes: the X, Y, and Z axes. These are shown in different colours. X is coloured in red, Y in green, and Z in blue. For those of you that are new to the 3D drawing environment, the X, Y planes combine to represent a flat 2D plane, such as the ground beneath you. It will also represent objects that are parallel to the ground plane, such as a tabletop. The Z axis represents the vertical plane of an object. Keeping with the table analogy just used, we would use the Z axis to draw the legs of a table. This would result in lines drawn that are perpendicular to the XY plane. The most user-friendly part of SketchUp is that you use these axes and planes, known as Cartesian coordinates, without too much difficulty. Let's move on to look at the person. The person standing in the drawing area has been included in this new drawing to give scale and perspective. She is drawn at a scale of 1:1 and has been placed at the point of origin where the X, Y, and Z axes meet. This immediately gives a 3D feel to the drawing area. If necessary, you can remove this person by clicking on them using the black select arrow and pressing Delete on your keyboard. For the purpose of this tutorial, we'll leave the person on screen. The last of the 3 elements mentioned is the horizon. The existence of this horizon helps to orientate you. It gives you visual feedback about the rotation, zoom factor, and position of your model. The best way to demonstrate how the person and the horizon aid your perception of the drawing area is to use some of the navigation tools. We're going to use a mouse to navigate it first. You should work using a 3-button mouse, the middle button being a wheel. This will make both navigating and drawing much easier. Roll the mouse wheel back and forward to zoom in or out. For a more accurate result, hover your cursor over the point that you want to zoom into before you move the mouse. The cursor acts as a target for the zoom tool. Next, press down and hold the mouse wheel to access the orbit command. Once you press down on the mouse wheel, your cursor changes to reflect the activation of this tool. Keep the mouse wheel pressed down and move the mouse to orbit around the drawing. Accurate use of this tool takes some getting used to, so make sure to practice. You can press the mouse wheel down and move to the left or the right to orbit around the XY plane. Move your mouse up and down to orbit around the Z plane. Notice that the model is always facing the viewer. In SketchUp, these models are called Face Me components and always rotate to face the viewer. We can pan around the drawing using the Pan tool. Access this from the toolbar. Panning moves around the drawing area without altering the zoom factor of the drawing. We can also use the Views toolbar we opened earlier to view the model from different angles, such as from the front, from the side, or an isometric view. The isometric view is very useful for resetting the view of your model, especially after using the Orbit tool. Now let's move on to create an object. I want to draw a rectangle to the right of the person. First of all, I'm going to change the view of my screen. I want to pan. I'm pressing down on my mouse wheel. I want to orbit the view. Now I'm going to select the Rectangle tool from the toolbar. When I move my cursor into the drawing area, notice that it has changed to represent a pencil. We're going to use this to draw a rectangle. When drawing with SketchUp, you should click once to begin drawing, and let go your mouse button, and drag your mouse to draw the rectangle. Click a second time when you have decided where the second point is to be created. SketchUp will create a grey face within the parameters of the rectangle just drawn. You can undo this rectangle by choosing to Edit, Undo, or by using the keyboard shortcut Ctrl-Z if using a PC or Command-Z if using a Mac. Use the Orbit tool to examine the 2D object that you've just drawn. Now we're going to add a third dimension to this 2D rectangle. To do this, we'll use the Push-Pull tool. Select this tool from the toolbar. Move your mouse into the drawing area and hover your mouse over the face that you wish to push or pull. The face will become highlighted. Let's zoom in to see that a bit more clearly. Move your mouse over, you will see the face highlighted. To activate this tool, click once and drag upward along the Z-axis to add height to the rectangle. This turns the 2D rectangle into a 3D shape. Roll back on the mouse wheel to zoom out. Use the Orbit tool to rotate. We're going to use the Push-Pull tool again on one of the faces of the 3D object. Remember to hover your cursor over a face. When it becomes highlighted, you can begin using the Push-Pull tool. We can even pull the top surface of the rectangle down so far that the rectangle is under the XY plane. Keep using the Zoom and Orbit tools to view different sizes of the rectangle. If you zoom in too far or lose your bearings, remember to click on the ISO button and then zoom out. You will be able to reorientate yourself. During this tutorial, you have learned how to select the correct template. You customize the screen layout by opening and closing toolbars. The next time that you open SketchUp, your screen layout will retain this look. You also learned about the 3D drawing environment and created a 3D shape. We will discuss other drawing and editing tools in the next tutorial. Thank you for watching.